another energy drive in the third race that's a long time. That left and right going to take out the race to take out the right as well. Almost now the endurance race. Waiting as long as he can to get into his grid position, leave everyone else sat there thinking. Second in most of the first round of the championship for either. Out the window, go inside of Scotland. So one place gained there, two places actually with Trotter go. Still, look, and bouncing across those curves is going to help us trying to get frustrated on apex. Take one curve we can. Just make back ahead of Lewis Kent, excuse me. There's been a shuffle there for 11th, actually. Lewis has lost the losing ground. He runs wide. Lewis Kent doesn't seem to have the race pace here. Behind him, getting forward, but Matt Wilson's going to four as well. But it's actually Bradley Kent, car number 5, who is trying to move forward here, right on the tail. Just behind him, stopping with that's on the old car. Absolutely horrendous to drive the front end, wandering all over the place. That's going to work if you get that done early. That might work. Well, Brad just couldn't get the traction out of there. It looked like he'd boxed himself in actually, but he's come out of that. But yeah, look at that. Hutchison now is having to stay alongside the white line in the middle of the road now, trying to defend. We see Neil Trotter from our comms box just coming into the pit. Bradley Kent right on the rear bumper there, and Brad Hutchison, who again drops away now before Neil as he starts to defend, gets a bit of an assist through Nickenbrook corner there by Bradley Kent. Neither Kent's driver doing quite only a couple of positions behind, crucially. His first championship driver come down out with the yellow mirrors. Very stiff on the front end, that car. No dive in that car at all. But Kent, look at the speed. He's right on it now. He's going to have to dive down the left. That's a real risky move as he goes down the avenue into Cascades. What has actually happened? Who is going to end up in front of? Forget that. Look at that. In the shoulder there off Hart, but he's passed. No damage. And Hart is well on his way. Yes, so that puts Max Hart then now into, I reckon, 13th place. Wilson trying to defend his 14th spot now. Jess Hawkins and Matt Wilson as they come out of the corner. Hawkins didn't get through and now might actually lose a place to the newer Cupra, which has good traction over the hill, has the inside line down toward his lot, so Matthew Wilson might be able to do this. Jess Hawkins don't look happy in that car, mate. She does not look happy in that. That car doesn't
Doesn't look like the car that was here, does it? It looks like she's just struggling with something in that car.
No! Max Hart in trouble at his loss. The car has slowed suddenly, and the championship leader could be staring down the barrel of his first non-finish of the season, and that just sums up his day, doesn't it, Max? Unfortunately, qualified, cannot get to the back of the race, not make progress.
He's looking pretty switched on. Just need to get that car out of the way, and that should be okay. He can get that the other side of the barrier there out of the way. So Cascades then, and Hutchison still in the bond out. He's trying to then Hutchison here is defending the place nice. This is the 10th spot, remember, and don't forget race number 2, 10th place in this race becomes pole for race number 2, so this is significant, not just for the two brands, but for Lewis behind him. Lewis is sat in 12th place at the moment. He can see a race 2 pole position just up the road, but for whatever reason, the Veloster doesn't seem to have the pace at the moment to go up there and take it. Now, speaking of not having the pace, Chris Smiley falling into the clutches here of Jamie Thompson and an increasingly racy looking Andy Wilmot. Chris Smiley struggling, Thompson Wilmot closing quickly. Yeah, this is looking a bit spicy, isn't it? They're really getting close now. They're really getting close. And Smiley, he is going to be.
Yes, led laps in 2 separate races. Did a really good job, as you say, to engineer the car to the point where it is now. Pretty intense. Got back from the free for the front, so Lewis Kent definitely struggling. But the safety car is coming out. This must be, I guess, for Max Hart's car in a difficult position on the exit of Druid. Terrible news for the top 2, because Alex Lee was 2 seconds ahead of Shepherd, who was 4 ahead of Isaac Smith. Those gaps will now vanish. They'll vanish, but let's... Oh! Blimey. Sorry, Andy Wilmot there on the inside of Constable. What's Constable doing back there? Constable was
a bit of a flash of the lights from Andy Wilmot as well.
Yeah, but Constable's fallen behind Smiley and Tonks on this lap, so something weird going on there as well.
Interesting. Well, safety car's out, yellow flag's been wet, you race to the flag. Interesting that was. But Alex Lee knows how to win races, knows how to pull a gap, knows how to do safety car restart, but that safety car restart he did at Brad Dark. I mean, I was holding time. So we have knowledge of that. When we did the as things stand, places already, a second last time at Brands Hatch, and Isaac Smith, who will now close right back in on it. So Catherine finished that half in a handful of points from the championship lead, and this can of course now count as one of his dropped scores. But this is going to be a fascinating second half of the race. We've got just the 14 minutes to go, and with all of these gaps going down, this is where maybe Alex and Adam, if they have taken too much advertising, they're really going to regret that, because yes, they bought themselves track position and a gap over the rest, but they have a safety car against all of that. Well, not just the safety car, but Scott Sumter there in the 27 is 2 laps down. He's been in the pit. Really, I thought that car would have been sent through to join the back and get another lap down on itself. It's already 2 laps down, but that would be a huge problem for Lee and Shepherd, because they've got to attack and also get past that car. So the safety car might let through, but maybe it's not letting through because there was a recovery trouble.
Jamie Thompson, Chris Smiley, I suppose it was a race win to the category before. So this has been a real standout performance for Andy Wilmot, and we do at the end of the day have to pick a cohort 4 driver of the day. It's already, I'd say, an early independent man. I know it's not even going to be a race long, but really capitalised in this They are flat out. Alex Lee's going to go in a second. He needs to get this sorted. Yeah, let's see how early. Look at this, look at the gap, look at the gap. Yes, and a lot of punching in the midfield as well. That means Ben Roll, the midfielders are trying to get back on the takes a wide line in and will try to carry the momentum out of the corner down the avenue, gets alongside Jamie Thompson. That's the outside line when we get to Cascades. This is really, really close, and he might just do it, Paul. Oh, he's done it around the outside. That's not going to work well. Straight in the grass, straight in the grass. I tell you what, I was just about to say straight in the wall, and how on earth he kept that out of the barrier. He just come out of the brakes, got the car turned, and a Constable back on track. I thought that was him finished. He's a Knickerbrook, he's leading. Yeah, he's had a quick line through the island there, by missing out the entire second half of Sector 1, but obviously we'll have to give that time back. At least he's still going now. Right then, down towards his once that frees up Thompson Wilmot to continue their battle. Whilst Amborn Eels is going on the attack as well, trying to get past Bruce Winfield. This ball now 7th place into Knickerbrook. Amborn Eels on the inside of the final apex of Knickerbrook, and would have almost certainly ended in contact if he hadn't backed down of it.
I've just got to say though, because I was lots of drivers waiting on the safety car, there was massive gaps there, huge gaps. That's why I'm thinking big gaps here. People not looking. Safety car lines, when they're on, you've got to fix it. So to the Darryl Wilson spot, that makes it different. That might be out of the way. On the apex, and it looks like he's got it side by side. This is going to be brave for Hutchinson. What he's got in the tank. Oh, he's thought better of it, and that I think is the right thing to do.
Yes, so Bradley Kent then goes 9th, Brad Hutchinson back down to 10th and pole for race 2 at the moment, but Lewis Kent, as much as they're falling over each other ahead of him, Lewis just can't get involved in this fight, can you? You have to suspect that something's still not right with that car after he's off. He's qualified earlier on. He never hit anything, but as we said, it's so bumpy on the exit of Cascades, he will have done damage, and they didn't have a lot of time to get that fixed. Bruce Winfield is wide of the hairpin, and Amborn Eels sits up the inside of him.
Yeah, I think that'll be okay for Bruce though, because that Subaru hasn't got the best high speed, top speed. Tell you what, you need to. Oh no, he's double wave yellows. Fair play, Amborn Eels. He come out of that. That'll be for Darren Wilson, who'll appear on the left in the green. Astra in a second, I think. Yes, so there's his car, but wow, I tell you what a shame, he got the run as well. Oh, this looks spicy.
Yeah, so Alex Lee, he's not getting away from Andy yet, but Alex Lee is one good overtake away from getting his first victory in TCR UK. He dropped back a bit through it, but at certain parts of the track, the number 117 just saying he's closing really in on the back of the Isaac Smith again missed consistency in third, and then Chris Barney, he's not a weekend where that car is quite competitive. And fourth place is just not fortunate, just quite fast.
Yeah, that's the kind of consistency that can win you a championship. And yeah, he's had not many horrific weekends is he, and horrific races. So yeah, he just needs to get that car back on form and be winning a bit later on. But like you say, I think he's going to be absolutely fine. I'll tell you who is going to be fine is Amborn Eels, because that is not the car that you want behind you. Brad Kent in that Hyundai is going to give him a right workout. This is where Brad Hutchinson needs to stay with this, because that is side-by-side action that can open up late on the brakes, and that is a typical Subaru boxer engine move. The reason I say that, centre of gravity is always better in the Subaru because of where the engine's placed, and it can always brake later if you have the traction.
Mega move by Amborn Eels in defence of that. I fully expected at least one of them to be on the grass there, but they just managed to avoid that, and Amor Neal does hold on to a place. Brad Kent will be getting more and more frustrated in his round. No words actually around the last end.
Yeah. Oh no, front right puncher. Front right puncher.
For Jess Morgan, who's down at Nickerbrook. Yeah, that's all you'd expect from left, wouldn't you?
That is very, very odd. That would say to me that thing probably had some kind of geometry issue, tracking issue. That tyre, unless she's clobbered the curb with the right front, then that might not usually overheats because there's a tracking issue or something. She could have had sides, so we don't know. There's a reason why she was last anyway. She might have had a bit of contact with someone, but yeah, that's put her out of misery. Disaster, that.
One way of looking at it, yes. Now, Jamie Tonks is about to bring some misery to Chris Smiley, I think, because Jamie Tonks is one of the fastest drivers on the track. He just did a personal best lap of 1:23.368. Was actually quicker than anybody else did on that 12th lap of the race. Now, as we saw at Donington Park, Jamie Tonks' long-run pace is amongst the best of anybody out there. He's closed on Chris Smiley now, and the battle for fourth place about to erupt. With just under 4 minutes to go, Brad Kent now is off the chicane as well, and appears to have lost quite a good time there. So Brad Kent the pressure being applied to him. There is Adam Shepherd through Cascade, now not quite able to live with Alex Lee's speed, and Alex now just a couple of laps away from claiming his second victory in TCR UK. And again, Paul, under immense pressure, he just doesn't put a foot wrong, does he? I'm telling you this, he checked the top of the show for social media that the boys come off the back of that winner France Hatch and shouldn't have a problem when leading or being up the front. He is super special, this kid, and he's now starting to hit the ground running, and he's a worry for me, for everybody else. Brad Kent is in pit lane, by the way, so make of that what you will, but Bradley Kent in with a problem, and Jack Constable, interestingly, missed that. So Jack Constable, who was running near the front in the early stages, might also be a non-finisher. We'll focus, though, on this fourth place scrap. It comes over Clay Hill, then towards Druids Corner for the 14th time. Lee, Shepherd, Smith is the top three, but it's fourth place up for debate here, and Chris Smiley, given the fact that Lewis Kent and Max Hahn are having an absolute shocker, Smiley needs to hang on to this fourth place. Every point he and I have been forward now.
The lead is down to 6/10. Remember, 14 laps gone, it's been hot, they're bothered, and if anyone's going to shake you up, it's going to be Shepherd, because that boy is super fast.
There will be 1 lap left at the end of this one, so a lap and a half to go, and yeah, that's strange that the gap came down so significantly, but it wasn't in one sector. I don't think it was a mistake for Alex Lee. I think it is just a genuine sort of advancing through the second half of that lap for Shepherd, although as you pointed out, there's some back outside of the speed then in second this time. To a yellow flag zone, and here's what they go, so no overtaking here for Jamie Thompson. That's a bit frustrating. Definitely close to the back of Chris Smiley to that part of the circuit. Further back, Amor Neal, bits of the Subaru about to go flying, but he's still running 8th. Brad Butch is 9th, and Lewis Kent, as if by magic, is in 10th position. Race 2 pole at the moment going to him, but Callum Husha might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Callum's really hot to trot, isn't he? And look how hard Lewis is pushing in the number 1. He is pushing so hard, trying to keep his front through. Winfield goes through, and then he stops from there. He's got and then he
runners. I'm fairly sure it will be Alex Lee, Adam Shepherd and Isaac Smith, but quite what order they'll be in, I'm not entirely sure I've put any money on just yet, nor would I bet on who's going to have the pole position for race 2, because Lewis Kent and Callum Newsham are continuing to circulate together. Alex Lee, though, who moved up out of the Fiesta Junior Championship at the start of the year, nobody expected him to be this competitive. He won in only his 5th ever race in TCR UK last time at Brands Hatch, and he might now go back to back with a victory in round number 8 of the championship. He's going through Knickerbrook now for the final time. Chris Smiley and Jamie Thompson continuing to battle over 4th position. The Honda just keeping the area motorsport with Fastart Cupra at bay. Out of Knickerbrook, up Clay Hill they head for the final time. The time having now tipped down to 0, and it's going to be a 16-lap event this that will yield the 20th victory in TCR UK for the Hyundai i30N. And it's going to go to Alex Lee. It would seem once again the 17-year-old heads into the lodge corner for the final time. Adam Shepherd has been an ever-present threat in his mirrors, always just that far Alex Lee, top of the line, off the palm, second place goes to Adam Shepherd, like will not get had a couple of ninth places before this. That is by far his best finish of 2022. Bruce Whitfield in 7th, Anthony Neal's 8th, Brad Hutchison 9th, and Lewis Kent, importantly, did hang on to 10th place. So the reigning champion, despite losing some points there to Smith and Smiley, and look, actually we have to now start looking at Alex Lee as a championship contender, I think. But Lewis will be at least on the pole position for the second race. Provisionally, of course, that could change if we get any post-race penalties, which we'll try and keep you up to date with as we go through the day. Not enough, though, can be said about Alex Lee. That is his second career victory in TCR UK, and again, done in dominant fashion, perhaps slightly less so than at Brands Hatch. Last time out, where he won by over 5 seconds, in actually a shortened race at Brands Hatch as well, but still, a very, very comfortable victory here. Small delay in getting the session underway because we do have one car time attack session that's just been on, just being recovered. I can see it on the flatbed truck.